How's it going?
Hi, we're Time and Realty. Thank you for tuning in.
Good start.
Didn't know what to do with my hands. Thank you for tuning in to Diamond Realty Associates podcast, real estate update.
Did you know?
I'm Erin, and I'm joined here with
Amber.
Trace.
I think my name is Dawn.
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 And her broken phone.
We'll check in on our phone in a bit.
We're going to be wrapping up our mini-series of online real estate sites, what to know and what to be wary of.
Yes.
We will.
What else are we going to talk about today?
My running point, Dawn, you want to take over?
You can run point.
Okay.
But we should be talking about buyers and booze too. But we
Yes.
don't have a date
We
now
have a date,
completely down, right?
Well, and we can tell you a little bit more about it at the end.
Absolutely.
We're going to recap last week. We talked about different terms and also the difference between a broker and an online broker. What does that mean when you're searching their websites? And then this week we're going to go over differences between our MLS, which means multiple listing service. Every agent in our area has access to it. And home search sites like Zillow, where not every agent is a part of. Then we will cover ground on different for sale by owner websites, what it means for those, and the good and bad sides of for sale by owners.
Awesome. Thanks, Erin.
You're
That's a lot of
welcome.
information.
Who wants to dive into the multiple listing service?
Well, multiple listing service is what real estate professionals use to list your home and what we use to help buyers find homes. It's a very regulated search engine and it's the most updated. So anything that happens pending inspections, everything like that is all on there for it. When you go to Zillow, Realtor.com, and some of the other websites, it's not always up to date. So.
And it's really specific to our area. So we have like the Fargo Moorhead area. Grand Forks has its own area, Lakes area, Breck Wap. So a lot of times we can be a part of multiple listing services, but not all agents are. So if you want to look at houses further out, Valley, City, in that sort of area, either your agent has to be a part of it or they have to refer you to an agent who is a part of that multiple listing service.
And we're unique because, Amber, where all are we part of?
We are part of Grand Forks area, Lakes area, which actually goes all the way into the cities, which is, we would probably refer you out at that point. Which is Fergus Falls, Alexandria, all of that, Otter Tail, all those lakes areas, and then Breckenridge, Wapaton area, as well as Fargo Moorhead area. So we've got range, man.
And we even get as north as like Ulen. We
Yeah.
bought and sold places in Ulen, which is
Lake Bronson, I think, is as far north as we've been so far, and that's like almost Canada, man.
What was the one you got the other day?
Oh,
Great Bend?
Great Bend.
Great
Well,
Bend.
that's by Wapaton.
Yep, down by Higginson, right?
Yeah, that was a drive.
But like Trey said, Valley City's a little weird. They don't want us to know what's for sale over there. So if their agent doesn't, and I can say they're weird because I have family that lives there. So if just did. So if you want to know something that's sold there, if their agent isn't putting it on the Fargo Moorhead multiple listing service, we're kind of in the dark. But we know people there, so we can help you out if you really want to live in the valley of Valley City.
And something that they're working on too is statewide MLS. I think we'll probably see it in Minnesota before North Dakota, but something in the works. Just a heads up.
And that's why it's really important too to ask your real estate agent if you have family or if you're thinking of moving in a different area, because we can always set you up with somebody that we trust in those other multiple listing service areas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't want to be fishing in the dark. You want to be figuring out someone who you know is going to take care of you.
I thought you were going to break into song. Fishing in the dark.
You and me. Just kidding. We're real estate agents, we're not singers.
Sorry. I thought
But I did have somebody ask me about Minot, and she was, like, what is the multiple or average days of the market, and how do you know if an agent's a good agent, and all those questions. And those aren't things that I can see from Fargo, but there are ways that we can find out that information reaching out to Minot.
Yeah, we're networking all the time, so we can help find answers for you.
Yeah. So Zillow, Realtor.com, and some of those other online brokerages actually get their information, a lot of it from pulling from an IDX account that feeds off of ours. It's just not as updated.
What does IDX mean?
That I don't know.
I don't know. It's a fancy
way
web.
to stump me.
Way to get fancy web terms saying they pull the info from stuff that we already have.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not always current because it can take a couple days to update and may have some glitches.
Right.
We often see homes that are not sold, that have sold and are not updated on Zillow. Like a house that's been on Zillow for like 400 and some days.
And they're not always willing to fix that either if we
No.
point that out. Or if a seller sees their information's wrong on Zillow, it doesn't necessarily mean we have it wrong. Zillow just might not be willing to correct that.
Well, Zillow is such a large beast that sometimes it's hard to fix things like that right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What's some other information that we can access for them on our MLS that they would not have access to on the other search engines?
We can use our multiple listing service to create comparable market analysis for our sellers, or CMAs is our jargon that we like to use, but you as a consumer probably don't know that. So we're basically going to compare your house to other houses similar to yours that have sold in your neighborhood, and trying to compare apples to apples to get you the best dollar without setting your house on fire.
What?
Just
checking to see if you're listening.
Just checking to
Anyway.
see if you guys are listening. I mean,
Well, and like Trey said too, we really quickly can figure out days on market. So if you're wondering why isn't my house selling, well, we can figure out the average. This is because things in your area, this is the days on market. That's actually something that's not public knowledge. You have to kind of go digging a little bit.
And Zillow won't show you
Where they get there.
like the financing, like what financing they've had before, or if there was seller concessions. Those are kind of things that we can compare to when looking at what's sold recently that's comparable. What did those sellers accept as far as concessions or financing? And those are things that might come into play.
Or how many times a particular house is sold in the last.
Yeah,
15
or how many
years.
times it's expired.
If it's a flip,
Yeah, if it's a flip, Zillow won't always have that information either. So we can kind of see a little bit more of the history of that house as long as people are updating their listings appropriately on MLS. Not everybody does.
yeah, but it is at least regulated, so
Yeah.
it's a lot more accurate than anything they can find on a.
right. And we
Normal
can
search.
also see who the agent is on the other side, because like we talked about before, it's good for you to have your own representation as well. But we can see who's representing the seller. That's not public knowledge on, say, Zillow or Realtor.com. And especially if we have a relationship with that agent, then we can start the conversation. And many of us agents around here have rapport with each other, so it's a lot easier to negotiate any terms that you may have when purchasing.
One thing we won't have though is if you're a neighbor or if you sold for sale by owner, that won't show up on our multiple listing system, which means appraisers aren't going to look at that
Right.
sales price or anything when they're pulling appraisals.
So if your neighbor sold for $250, so you're thinking, I'm gonna get that, no problem. Well, if they didn't use an agent, there's no record of that anywhere except their recorded deed, and appraiser's not gonna be able to use that comparable, and they could actually be at a disadvantage to you.
So an appraiser wouldn't dig through like public records and see like on the
Sales history.
sales history and that type of thing either.
I believe they typically use the multiple listing service because it's the most universal and the easiest for them to get their information.
And regulated.
Absolutely.
But not everything's
Interesting.
perfect.
Not everything's
No.
perfect.
Sometimes we find things wrong that have been wrong for a long time.
So speaking of FSBOs or for sale by owners, what are some pros and cons of selling on your own?
I don't think I'd want somebody to come through my house and tell me straight to my face how horrible my house is. So I don't think I'd want to be there.
I don't think I'd want to have to be home and work around buyer schedule, especially with the market slowing down a little bit. You have to be available for those buyers.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to let one go, but what if they want to see it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and you're working 9 to 5?
Some of the pros would be you have a little bit more control, but you have to be available like a lot more, 100% of the time if you want to be getting those showings.
Well, and a pro too could also be if you're selling to a family member.
Yep.
I hear a lot of hand-to-hand exchanges without an agent is with a family member, although there is a flip side to that as well. I know of 2 situations where one brother bought from one and he made a killing when he sold it 5 years later, so my client probably should have just sold it. And then the other one they bought from their parents and they're gonna net probably $100,000 from 6 years ago. So
Oh wow.
whoever's selling it, you're not exactly at the advantage, but if a family member's buying it, that buyer is definitely at an advantage of buying for sale by owner.
Well, and depending on the situation, depending on the market, we've heard of other for sale by owners. Patty and Dan, when they bought that house, they bought from a for sale by owner from a friend. They were told all these things were good, everything's taken care of. They get in and it's a train wreck, and now the friendship's gone. And they had all these things to do, and it's just double-edged sword.
And they didn't know which questions to ask because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. So one thing I learned last night when I was doing research to put together the material for this podcast
Thank you, Amber.
You're welcome. We all take turns. We're a good team. Was that there's a study that NAR has out, which stands for the National Association of Realtors, saying that on average you're going to get 13% more by selling with a realtor. Well, their study was based on all of the price points, and sample size is that the majority of for sale by owners out there are mobile homes or those lower end homes. So when Forbes, somebody actually went out and dissected it, it's on a Forbes study, that if you broke it down to just those price points, it really was about even. But so that's a little misleading, and we don't want to mislead anybody. We want you guys to know everything. At the end of that article, it said, if you want to save yourself a ton of time, a ton of work, and have it done properly, you should still hire a realtor. We're not going to tell you it's going to make you more money, but we are going to tell you it's still in your best interest to do so. There's a lot of things that people don't think about when they just go to do it. Putting it online isn't as easy as you might think. Marketing it isn't as easy as you might think. And you're going to have somebody to do that paperwork. No matter what, you're paying somebody some money. It's going to happen. So,
and I think it's a good point. So you're going to have to pay someone some money. It's probably an attorney or a title company. Title company's not going to do anything extra for you. They're just going to make sure your paperwork is correct. They're not going to tell you how to fix it. An attorney, or how to fill it out. An attorney may not specialize in real estate, so they're usually calling a broker anyway, figure out what to put. And it doesn't close, you still owe them. Real estate agent, you don't owe until closing. That's our risk, but we're willing to do it.
And then you get professional photographers, professional photographers. Yes. Anyways, I had a whole list of things to say. Now I'm distracted, so somebody else take it away.
Well, we have the professional photos that we do. We offer carpet cleaning or house cleaning if that's what it's going to take to help get your house show ready.
Or a pre-inspection.
We help come and give you pointers on getting the house ready. Sometimes just things that you might not see that we get used to seeing, like dirty laundry out, the toilet seats up, things like that we can point out for you. You just get used to seeing your house every day, and you kind of miss those details.
And it's important to note, so the photos, and like we said, we try to offer an extra service, whether it's a pre-inspection, carpet cleaning, deep cleaning. That doesn't cost you anything. We pay for that.
Yep. Even if it doesn't sell.
To get you show ready. Yep.
And that just makes the seller more confident and comfortable too with people coming into their house. Because I think that's one of the biggest stressors of sellers is, my house isn't clean, I'm not ready to sell, I've still got a few projects to do.
Yeah.
And they might not really be all that important to finish if you're going to sell it anyway. Maybe the new buyers want to come in and change that carpet or repaint, things like that.
Well, and a big stress too could be, you think your house is fine, there's no big flags, you get inspection and they're asking for $600 worth of fixes. Well, pre-inspection can really help alleviate that. We've had a couple of times where the buyer just used the inspection that the seller got, that we paid for, and you already know what's gonna pop up, so there's no worry there.
There's no surprises. The seller and the buyer save money that way.
Right.
And this is a licensed inspector doing the report. This is not just our buddy saying, "Oh, their house is great." Like, their license is at jeopardy. They would never do anything like that. So you can trust that.
And it's someone we've used on many homes, and he's proven himself time and time again. So that's who we use for the pre-inspection.
For ours, yep. Oh gosh, I had something that's gone. Dawn, talk.
Done.
Go.
What? What am I talking about?
I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
No, but we're gonna do whatever we can to help you sell your house. So anything that we can do to market your house better, taking pictures over if we have to. Just getting it everywhere.
Well, I think Amber was talking about before, we may not save you thousands and thousands of dollars by having representation, but one thing you found is, deciding is the commission worth it, because half of the commission we get to the buyers, agents. It's not like we're robbing you, but that also brings more potential buyers because we're advertising it on many different outlets that you don't have the ability to, and
or the time to.
Or the time to. Who has time to update Facebook ads and answer leads off of that? You got a job, man. Let us do it.
How valuable is your time?
So so you've got this little baby pool, and then you've got this big pool that we have access to, and just You may pay a little bit more, but let us access that big pool for you.
And on that big pool too, we're saying, hey, we're giving you this much money, come buy this house. You know, I mean, that's kind of how it works. That's how the buyer agent gets paid, and that's how we don't ever have to charge you a thing when we're helping you buy. So it all kind of evens out. And if you are looking at doing for sale by owner, and that's just what you're going to do and you're going to do it, the different sites that you can look to are forsalebywowner.com, Zillow, Craigslist, owners.com, FSBO, FSBO.com. And the good thing with that would be you've only got yourself to blame if it doesn't sell. You can't get mad at somebody else. You can only get mad at yourself. I guess that's kind of a
But you
bonus.
can get mad at us if we're listing it and it's not selling.
Really
We'll
hate
tell
making
you.
people mad.
We'll tell you why it's not selling. We'll give you the stats, but
That's true.
So what are the 3 things we always say that sells a house? It's the
condition, location, and price. And if your location and condition are excellent, you're still not selling, guess what's gonna go down. And you can't change location and condition, so most often the thing you can change is price. What do we want them to be done?
The best chocolate in the box. I'm not Dawn, but I was already going to quote Barb on that, and I saw Dawn was like,
And Dawn was thinking.
No, well, I was
Sorry.
thinking we can change some of the conditions, but
Yeah.
not all of them.
Yeah, the condition.
Right. We can't change like layout.
No,
Yeah.
but location
Yard.
you definitely can't change.
My poor clients, if they had heard one more time that the yard wasn't that
Oh.
great, they know. Okay, this is
They
why it's
live
priced
there.
at where it is.
yeah, I'm so surprised that that one didn't go.
Anyway,
I
talking
digress.
about chocolate.
Speaking of chocolates. So that's
Best
kind of
chocolate in
that
the
wraps
box.
up our mini series. Hopefully
Yeah.
you learned a lot. And buyers and booze, we're planning it. It looks like it's going to be Monday the 29th. We're just getting confirmation. But it's come out. We had a really great time last year. Bring your kids, have them dress up in their costumes. We do a little fancy Halloween get together, and then also our buyers representation, which is why it's called, or our buyers class, buyers and booze.
Are we still doing Fargo Brewing?
We will, yeah.
It's been a hit so far.
I know. So we'll have local delicacies,
Local booze,
delicate something.
treats for the kids,
Yeah.
food.
Mm-hmm.
To make some sort of like a witch's brew or something for the kiddos.
Yeah.
Smoking cauldron.
Mm-hmm. So we'll have lots of activities for them and lots of education for you.
Education.
Perfect.
So please join us. We will be putting that on Facebook probably in the next week to let you know officially when it is.
Absolutely.
Nailed it.
Fantastic.
Tasty Tuesday.
Where were we for Tasty
It
Tuesday?
was tricky. It was a little bit of an off week.
It was, yes.
But if you saw our sick boomerang, we were very proud of that.
We only retook it once, right?
Well, twice because Madison couldn't figure out the boomerang
the
app.
first one, yeah, she was recording while she was counting down for us.
Yeah.
It's okay.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, that was all of it.
Yeah. But we were sporting our very own heritage that we're connected to. They have a great little tour of 3 houses, a cottage, is that what they're calling it?
Cottagewood?
Cottagewood, where you get to go see 3 of their models and all laid out and designed and staged, and they're gorgeous.
And they'll be there
Yes.
for the next 2 years.
Mhm.
So those will be models that people will be able to walk into. You'll get a really good feel for it. You'll have, like, there's a design center in
Yeah.
one of them, so you kind of get to see what your options are.
And someone's there Thursday through Saturday
Yeah.
in the afternoon.
And this weekend is still the Fall Parade of Homes. That's kind of what encouraged everything. They got that all ready for the Fall Parade, so that was part of our Tasty Tuesday.
And if you love one of those heritages, reach out to us because we can help you with new construction. We
The
can help
Lead
you navigate.
Realtor program.
And you get a sweet deal on some upgrades if you use us.
A sweet deal.
Oh.
So everybody liked our boomerang, but
Nobody
nobody. One guess, and it was not right.
That's
No,
not
it's
correct.
so-
Sorry, Mindy.
But it was a good guess.
That's a good guess.
It was.
It was
Wah,
very good
wah,
guess.
wah. No gift card this week, you guys.
No gift card.
And next week we have Connections Luncheon.
Which is what, Dawn?
It's actually our Fargo Moorhead Association of Realtors luncheon where we get to learn some stuff, and we got some members from our brokerage that will be inducted as new members.
To become an
Realtors.
official
I
realtor.
always think people are saying abducted, and it sounds really
Inducted.
scary to me.
Inducted,
Oh.
like inducted into the Hall of Fame kind of thing.
Tracy's gonna get abducted.
So we'll be going there, so we won't have Tasty Tuesday, but we have a really good one the following week.
Yes, we do.
And I'm
Yes.
so looking forward to it. So
So stay
stay
tuned.
tuned. We'll be back.
And a little bit more about our team and why we got together, who we are, what we do. Anybody want to shout out? That back to me? Okay. We are very client driven. We started our team because we believe customer comes first. Number one, that's
Absolutely.
it for us. We want you to be our clients for life, which takes a lot more patience and involvement than somebody who's just trying to sell you. We're not trying to sell you. We want to help you.
We're terrible salespeople. We're just good people.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
That's our
That's
slogan.
not-
Mission
that's
statement,
good.
write it down.
People. Oh yeah, we've got to work on that too. Okay. Yeah, I think that's about it. That's us.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
So if you want to learn more about us and our weird boomerangs that we like to take, look us up on Diamond Realty Associates, or our website.
On Facebook at Diamond.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
On Facebook. If you Google Diamond Realty
Or
Associates.
Instagram.
Or Instagram.
Or Snapchat.
Or all the things.
You can email us at buysellfmhomes.com if you ever have any questions or want to hear something on our podcast.
Or if you just want to call us.
Oh, I threw Dawn's
What's
phone.
the number if they want to call us?
701-526-4935.
You
Just
don't
call
remember it.
us.
It's cool.
Oh,
And
that's not
as
my phone.
always,
What?
stay classy, FM.
Why was my phone?
I was like,
on
I
the
threw
Oh,
Dawn's phone.
Throw your phone. I tried to use